It is. The thing is, I didn't shower today.
So that's just like natural. That's like the daily grease. That's just
kind of
sticking up your hair. And I hope that that's the screen cap, like for the video. It's just you like touching your hair.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what percentage through it goes, but it's going to be something like that awful. No, it's been since Saturday. Now that I think about it, so I should probably go do that. Like, can we hold on?
Like after this, you should shower. There's your plan for the night. Okay, I guess we'll get started.
I can't actually see you. Does that matter, Dan? Or is that
you can't see me?
No, I can see like the.
Oh no! Like, I can see me. Can you see me now?
Now
I can see both of you.
The
oh no!
Science Enthusiast.
Well, this is just a travesty.
Maybe it doesn't matter what I see, since what I don't know how this works. Technology is complicated.
Technology is, yes.
I don't know. We're live on Facebook though. We've been live.
We have been.
Okay.
Yeah, for about 30 seconds now.
Oh, okay, great. Because before I was really bad.
Okay,
so what we need to do now, we need to stop talking about how Hitler had some good ideas. So, anyway.
So I just pulled up the Facebook thing on my phone and it shows all of us. So I guess that's really all that matters, right? So
yeah.
I'm gonna get started. Yeah, ready? You ready?
Yeah, we've been live for like a minute now.
Okay. All right. So tonight.
This is good podcasting here.
It is. We're pros. Tonight, we are thrilled to welcome Jenny Splitter to the Science Enthusiast Podcast. Jenny writes about parenting, science, health, and food for Slate, Salon, Parents, Refinery 29, and other outlets, and is featured in the upcoming documentary Science Moms, which I know nothing about. So, Jenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, we always start with people's like kind of science or atheist or skeptic like origin stories, and I was thinking about it before we started recording. Like, you're a big part of why I'm kind of doing all of this, because Science Moms, like, you're the first person I talked to about the documentary. Like, I was a fan of your writing.
I'm your origin story.
You are. You're my origin story. And I was a fan of you before I even like got into this whole like making a movie and online sci-com skepticism stuff and podcasting. So you are
whatever the hell it is that we're doing.
Whatever, like, I don't know what we're doing. So I don't even know how to label it. We're doing a thing, and I'm doing a thing with you because I followed Jenny on Twitter. So,
and then remember, I said, get back on Facebook.
And you did, and I did, and this is like Jenny is why this is all happening. So we are really glad to have you on the show. So,
and I want a cut of all your profits.
We have zero. We have nothing.
It's actually going to come. It's going to look like a bill, and that's because it is.
It is. We are completely unpaid shills. Like, we get just fuck all for doing this. So let's talk about you. So you, I think, have an interesting like origin story, going from, you know, maybe a little bit more of a like crunchy Whole Foods mom to where you are today.
Yeah, I was living in San Francisco, and when I first became pregnant, and I was, I guess, you know, you're a typical. I was really like a foodie, and kind of, I just was. I'm not that I'm sure that I was like such a hippie or anything, but I think just because some of the stuff, that's how my parents did it. Like, I was born in Berkeley, California, so not that there was like a home birth or anything, but like. You know, just some of that stuff. So I just kind of assumed, you know, a lot of the natural approaches were like the way you're supposed to do it. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up having a C-section, and I had preeclampsia, and pretty much like a lot of the things that could go wrong went wrong. And I mean, everything ended up fine. And my son is now a teenager, so he's healthy and everything. But when I got pregnant with my daughter years later, I had this whole thing, like, I'm going to have a VBAC, and I kind of went like super crunchy all over again. I was like really obsessed with it. And then I did have my VBAC, everybody. So.
Oh, you did? Okay. Good job. Did you get a trophy?
Yes.
And then, yeah.
the gold medal Olympics of birth. I mean, not a home birth VBAC, so not quite the championship level, but
you win something.
I don't know what that is, and I'm totally okay with it.
So tell Dan and the audience what that is.
I do not consent.
You don't know what a VBAC is?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Like I said before we started recording, like the women's that area,
parts.
I can't even say it because I just get uncomfortable. But
vagina.
God, vagina.
I'm just going to talk about vaginas.
Vagina.
Vaginal birth after C-section, broadband.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
He's shifted in his chair, he's like, we're getting into vaginas way too soon in this conversation, and we know that's where we're going.
Uterus, I feel like if you're
true.
I guess vaginal birth.
Vaginal though. All right. So
for the record, I have no problem saying vagina, just in case we were.
No.
Yeah, I was
we got off the 2 minutes in.
I was reading I was prepping for that. I was reading Ina May Gaskin, who's has this childbirth guide, and I went super hippie for a while, but then afterwards, well, actually kind of in the middle of it, I was like, I would like some drugs actually. And so that was kind of the turning point. And I had just started to read Dr. Amy's blog, The Skeptical OB, at that point, because friends of mine had shared it with me. And so that was where I kind of found skeptical bloggers and the whole, that was kind of she was my gateway drug. she's my origin story.
She's a
friend
of the show too.
Yeah, we've had her on before. She's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yes. So, and I think she's also married to a lawyer, and I swear I think she kind of lays out her arguments like a lawyer. And because I'm a recovering lawyer, I think that's part of why I really liked her. She just of the argument in that way, and it just kind of made it really simple for me. And then I didn't get into the food stuff until a lot later. Well, not a lot later, but somewhat later. So the first thing was just rethinking all my ideas about birth and breastfeeding and stuff like that. And then I started blogging at Grounded Parents because of Dr. Amy. She posted something that the folks at Skepchick were looking for bloggers, so that's how I started blogging there. And then I think I started looking into the whole GMO thing because my daughter has food allergies, which I obviously gave her from feeding her GMOs.
Of course. Your fault. Yes.
Right. And I wasn't even really focused on it. But then I kept seeing, I kept seeing this myth that food allergies cause GMOs. So I just decided to look into it more. And then that's kind of how I started just falling to this whole rabbit hole of agriculture and, organic versus conventional. And I write about it a lot. It's weird that I ended up becoming so fascinated with it. But I think just because I was not necessarily so pro organic, but I think just in California, in the Bay Area, there's tons of, foodies there, and organic is just part of that trend. It was just becoming a big trend kind of at the time when I was living there. And so I think I just assumed so many things about food, like you do, just because it's just so emotional and, I don't know, but I never really bothered to check a lot of that stuff until only it's just a few years ago. It's not even that long. So it's kind of strange how it all happened.
Well, as far as the whole myth with GMOs and organic food being better and can, change a child's health and all that stuff, you and I went to a march against, was it March Against Monsanto or Moms Across America, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, it was the
food justice march in DC. That was it's going on 2 years ago. And we got to witness a mom actually yelling that she cured her child's food allergies. Was it food allergies or some other kinds of problems with an organic diet because she did personal research?
Yeah, I think she said she had weird ways of like health illness, like, or something. And she was like, which illnesses do you represent or something, which was really weird.
And we're like, well, we're not here representing like illness. Like,
I choose measles.
like, I know, like everybody just like picks one out of a hat. Like, I'm chickenpox. Like, what are we doing today? But she was really insistent and really believed that she did something, and that we were essentially like, I don't know, were we putting our children in harm's way because being sort of pro biotech? Like, it's a weird culture.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like at first that it was going to be a conversation, although I know we were sort of separated by these barriers, so we kind of like had to yell across to each other, but it ended with her just saying, you are poisoning your kids. And then I got really mad, which is weird because I'm just, not that I never get mad, but I'm just like I'm just not one of those people who get fired up that easily. And I was just like, ma'am, like I was like spitting.
You said ma'am. Yes, it was, you ma'amed her.
Yeah. I don't even know why I said the words I said. It was really like something just came over me.
And it's on video, and anyone who watches the Science Moms documentary will get to witness this exchange, which was just amazing that it was caught on tape. But that seems to be the, like, there's just so much misinformation around this stuff. And that's why I was so happy to like see you writing about it and see other people like writing about it from a parent's perspective. I mean, that was the like Moms for GMOs stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, definitely Coven was writing about it first. And I mean, I remember when she started writing about it, I was sort of like, what is this exactly?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think, it's interesting that we, for that letter, sort of came together, a lot of us as, you know, as moms, as parents, but all sort of different kind of slightly different perspectives, which you captured so well in the movie, which is amazing. But yeah, I think everyone is so personal about it. And as moms, I don't know, there's so many people like Zen, Honeycutt and stuff who think they can cure autism and allergies, you know, with organic, like they're kind of motherhood empowers them to, I don't know, heal all these people. But we just kind of wanted to be, you know, a counterbalance to that. It's kind of a lot of pressure to heal autism, I think.
It's a big undertaking. And and it was sort of this, you know, what you and these other women have done is provide sort of a counter voice narrative than the fear-based narrative that's kind of surrounding issues of food and health, when we live in a, you know, pretty safe world for the most part when you think of like fear and risk and all of that kind of stuff. And so this Moms for GMO sort of campaign and letter helped capture a different story, which was inspiring, obviously, to me, to be like, let's get these ladies on camera and, you know, tell that kind of story. So do you want to like talk about like what that's been like, kind of your relationship with these other women, and, you know, as we've kind of been working on making this film that will be out in the fall?
It's amazing when I look at the raw cut or whatever you technical people call it. It's like, wow, like we all have such different personalities, and you just captured it really well, because I feel like Layla is just this like completely chill person. And she seems so chill, like, you know, when she's talking about food and you know, like, oh, I gave my kid homeopathy, but I just could have just given him sugar water, you know. She's just like completely relaxed. Whereas I am this complete neurotic freak about everything. So, and I'm talking about that, and like, you know, there's a part where I'm talking about going on the airplane, even though logically I know, you know, my daughter has peanut allergy. I've like wiped everything down, but like the irrational part of my brain is just like, oh my God, there's flying peanut particles in the air. It's everywhere. Like I'm like having a panic attack in the airplane, even though I know better. It's just we all have these different personalities and different kind of ways, slightly different ways we approach parenting. But I mean, that's kind of the idea, is that actually, you know, no matter what's going on with you, you know, you can kind of use facts as a way to not make yourself crazy, hopefully. And, and just make your life a little easier. That should be the idea. It actually doesn't have to be as complicated as some people want to make it.
Well, and so like all of us are parents here, and like, what are because I feel like people worry about everything when it comes to their kids, like not just like food and health stuff, but it's like every single thing. There's people like find a reason to worry about it. Like what do parents like? What do you guys think parents actually need to be, most concerned about? Or like what advice would you give to somebody who's bears? Okay, clearly. Like a new parent who's just like, they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Bears.
Just bears. Dan Broadbent goes with bears.
Like you have stuffed teddy bears like all over the place. You get comfortable with it. You think they're cuddly and cute, and then the next thing you know,
you're out in the national park and you're fucked. That's it.
That's like not good.
I'm not laughing. Like that wasn't a joke.
We're not laughing
my face.
either.
I'm like very serious. I think just people in general though, once they're like I feel like we say this all the time. People are just want to do the right thing, and there's so much misinformation available, and especially like the internet is amazing, but it's also fucking horrible because all that information, like if you know how to manipulate Google search result, or even like if you don't know how to search for something on Google, if you just type in GMOs, like I'm sure like more the vast majority of it's going to be, well, they're going to kill you and your dick's going to fly off. And yeah, okay, well, I see a lot of people saying this, so that means it has to be true, right?
It's funny because I think it's mostly new parents who are really obsessing on food and, toxins and stuff like that. But I feel like the funny thing is, I mean, of course I was that stressed out too, but I'm like, just wait until they hit middle school. That's when you should really be panicking. But I mean, the funny thing is I don't know. I mean, when they're little, there's not that much going on. You can take it easy.
Keeping them
alive,
fed,
right.
alive, like, they sleep, they eat.
Yeah.
They're like
every once in a while. It's good.
like have conversations, keep them, like help them be like just relatively happy people. But sometimes they cry and sometimes they irrationally get pissed off about like, I don't know, not having the exact right Lego piece. But
I get pissed off.
Right. I mean, I get that too. I understand, but yeah. But see, like,
also, that's what I'm planning on doing after we're done here.
Like,
so,
that's awesome. See, like,
yeah,
once a kid, always a kid, and Legos are for like, everybody.
It says 14 and up.
Yeah, so up. There you go.
There's
you're
no
like,
limit.
I'm 33. Like, you're the lower limit, maybe, sort of, halfway there. But yeah, so this is why though I think it's really good, like you say, because obviously the internet is just a disgusting cesspool of misinformation, but then I think that's why it's also important that there's like all these other voices.
Yeah,
just like chill a little bit on some of the stuff that is out, like being put out there by like crazy conspiracy, like March Against Monsanto type of groups, and you don't have to listen to the like EWGs, like Dirty Dozen. Like, just give your kids fruits and vegetables, wash them, feed them.
Yeah,
like
make sure they're in a car seat, and you feed them, and you don't. I mean, the amount of like time and stress and energy I spent on breastfeeding is just like amazing. Give it. I mean, it's just moms feel so guilty about so many things, and it's just. I just feel like, oh God, I wasted so much, energy on that. And I mean, luckily, I think there's like you said, there's so many voices now that are reasonable. And like the Fed is best movement has been great, and to put out, an alternative to really challenge what's been kind of the conventional wisdom on breastfeeding for so long. So I hardly ever write about it because I think people are insane about breastfeeding, and Weirdly, I can handle people freaking out about GMOs, but breastfeeding, I'm like, oh God, no, I just can't. It just seems to always go to
it goes to a place
really quickly.
It's 0 to 60 in like one comment. It is the kind of thing that can explode. But yes, that's what like Fed is Best I think it's a great movement just because it's a shift in the narrative and, you know, the stress that new moms face around breastfeeding issues sometimes is just like, I mean, I've seen people go through it and it really sucks just watching a mom who just had a child like feel that way, like insecure about her ability.
Yeah. When I had my daughter, I went to one of those, you know, new moms kind of meetup groups. And I remember this mom there who was like, well, I'm mostly breastfeeding, but I'm feeding my daughter 1 bottle a day and I don't know what to do. Do you have any advice? And I said, well, you could just be okay with that.
Sounds good.
And she's like, well, can I?
Nope.
Yeah.
Like she could not let herself, like she was really working hard just to let herself be okay with feeding her child. Her child was perfectly well fed.
But that's what it is. It's like people think that they're either doing something wrong or not doing it like well enough.
Yeah.
And so that's why just saying like, you know, is your child eating? Is your child growing? Is your child, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like if the answer is yes, then move it along. And like, we can all agree that that's probably the best thing if children are healthy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And vaccinate, get a flu shot.
Oh, that stuff too. Yes. Yeah. Like these are the things like, let's, you know, when it comes to things to worry about or whatever, well, I mean, it shouldn't be that much of a worry. Just like take your child to the checkups and get the vaccines on time and do your thing.
Yes. If only Monsanto wasn't trying to poison us.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of Monsanto, we have a question from one of our friends that works for Monsanto, Cammie Ryan. So
I have never heard of her.
Oh, well.
And I've definitely never been in a room with her.
She's definitely never given me money for stickers.
She's definitely not somebody that I like met in St. Louis a couple months ago. No. So this person, this, you know, shadowy figure from Monsanto that goes by the name of Cammie Ryan, she wants to know about your like evolving relationship with Whole Foods. You know, you recently wrote a little bit about Whole Foods and like,
yeah.
You know.
I think because my son is a teenager now, I was thinking about when I first had him, and weirdly, I do have all these like almost I don't know, these almost like, you know, daydream like memories of, you know, like of walking through Whole Foods and how wonderful it was, and like I kind of idealized San Francisco because I miss the West Coast. I'm in DC now, and I think that was kind of got the idea for writing this article and also a new Whole Foods opened in my neighborhood. And it's actually the closest grocery store right now. It's in walking distance. And so I haven't been in, and I was thinking about the ways it's changed and how the non-GMO, you know, label, non-GMO butterfly label is everywhere in Whole Foods. And I want to go back to where we used to be Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just like fresh produce and so much produce. And it was just this great shopping experience if you love food. But
I agree. Like
it still kind of is in some ways. But they've also kind of ruined it because there's 8 million labels on everything. And, you know, even the produce section is not even that big.
It's safe. So that means we should label it.
It's just like so much packaged food. Not that there's anything wrong with, you know, packaged food, but it's just, you know, miles and miles of that stuff with umpteen million labels about gluten-free and GMO-free and, you know, toxin-free, clean, chemical-free. It's just like, I think actually that was Coven's most recent article was like, it's ruining my shopping experience.
Well, yeah, like non-GMO project label, it really is. It's on everything.
Yeah, and so like
all over
salt and kitty litter, and I mean, the chips that I love. It's like, come on, guys.
Well, we just had Mary Mangan on the other night, Mem Somerville on Twitter. We talked about Cape Cod potato chips because Non-GMO Project they're just like ruining good stuff, and like yeah.
And Consumer Reports, I think it was Consumer Reports gave them some like most meaningful award or something, which is so bizarre because they're the exact opposite of meaningful.
It's not.
Makes no sense.
Well, Consumer Reports has its own issues.
Yes, it does.
Along those lines too.
Yeah.
Man, I'd like Whole Foods to listen to you and just be like, let's have a nice relationship, because they're like the seafood, the meat department, the cheese. Like, when I remember the first time I went to a Whole Foods, it's just like, holy shit, this place is beautiful. And I didn't know as much as I know now, and ignorance was bliss, I guess, because God damn it, I haven't been in a Whole Foods in like, well,
see, we're talking about so many things that, like, we're talking about like vaginal births, which I have no experience with. We're talking about going into Whole Foods. I've never been to Whole Foods. Like, what else?
Well, I mean, we're going to get to.
Have I not experienced?
Well, I hope that nobody here has experienced
am I missing out on
what I want to talk about next, which is like shoving weird stuff in vaginas. So Dan, I mean, raise your hand if you.
I was gonna say, I thought you were about to go the Dan Robbins story, and I was,
God, that's not even an episode of this podcast. That's a whole other
different
podcast. So yeah, since you're talking about things that you haven't experienced, Dan, and that I've not experienced, and Jenny, I hope you've never experienced, like, word on the street is that people want to shove like a wasp's nest in their vagina. Yeah. And now we need to tell people not to do that.
Yes, the articles are so funny. It's like as if this had to be said, but please don't do this.
You have bodily autonomy, but don't.
But what's the reason? Like, what is it supposed to do? Like, do you guys know what it's supposed to do?
So I guess, I guess this Etsy seller that, I think the first article that kind of maybe caught attention was Dr. Jen Gunter's article, where she mentions this Etsy seller who is recommending it to tighten your vagina. And I forgot what the other part was. Make it, I don't know. But basically, I think originally this is the idea was that it had some antimicrobial or something. Don't quote me on that. Just don't quote me on that podcast, but the properties or something. And so that was like the old wisdom on it. But but so the new idea is that it will just make sex so much better. But actually it will sting and burn and possibly give you an infection.
So don't do it.
So it would not make sex better.
I mean, unless that's what you're into. That's I don't want to kink shame people. Like, that's different.
I was trying so hard for this not to go there, but the harder you try, that's exactly where you end up.
But like, okay, so it's ridiculous, and it seems like it's parody, but it's not. And it's like, why are we at this point where like people will like listen to Gwyneth Paltrow about like jade eggs in their vag and like that kind of stuff? Like, why do people take the word of these sort of wellness gurus, celebrities, whatever, about like what to do with their bodies or what to put in their bodies?
I don't know. I mean, especially
if you know the answer, then you win. You win,
right?
skepticism.
Exactly.
I win some money, maybe.
I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow. Actually, we were both pregnant at the same time, so there was a time when I used to really love Gwyneth Paltrow. But she's got to make some money, and hence Goop was born, and so. I don't know. A lot of people want her lifestyle, but you can. I don't know how anybody goes down this path. It's very strange. I think with the whole sort of, I think like DIY and vaginas are intersecting in a way that's not good.
It's a bad time for DIY and vaginas because those two things, just like Etsy or somebody on Etsy selling the like crocheted reusable tampons.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing. Like that's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's a weird time. Like, but I guess, Dan, it's like what you said about the internet though. It can be a place where people can, meeting of the minds and like exchange ideas and all of that. But then a lot of those ideas are fucking crazy.
Well, it's because people deep down, I think most are fucking crazy. It's just some of us are better at hiding it than others, or at least we have processes in our brain that where your brain goes, "Hey, stupid, don't do that."
And then the other people sell reusable crocheted tampons on Etsy.
or those are the people that go, "Oh, somebody's not going to say, 'Hey, stupid, don't buy this.'"
Weirdly, when I was looking up Dr. Jen's article, this ad that has popped up a few times before, which I think is for, I shouldn't give them any free business. Not that anyone listening to this would be like, I'm going to go out and buy this toxin-free condom seller, but it's bit like Sustain or something. It's like, don't put toxins in your vagina. Like everybody's very concerned with keeping your vagina like clean and pure. Like it's this weird kind of, I think like in a way almost like kind of obsession with your vagina.
It's
well, and I'm not a doctor, but I don't know that I can finish this.
Where do you even go with any of this? Like Dr. Jen Gunter has had like a lot to write about lately, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, she really she's been laying the smackdown on a lot of these ridiculous like celebrities. I mean, she like the Gwyneth Paltrow stuff like that she's written has been fantastic. It's like I don't know. It's just cool to see the doctors and scientists just like speaking out, being a little snarky, and just giving all of us something to kind of read and laugh at, but also like, I don't know, maybe that will resonate with somebody somewhere, like that they shouldn't do these weird things.
I think Gwyneth Paltrow especially she's one of those, celeb moms who's always wanted to kind of use that and kind of, act like she's speaking for moms and speaking for women. So it's really nice to see Jen, like actual female women doctors and women scientists kind of providing an alternative voice to Gwyneth Paltrow.
Somebody has
many alternative voices.
So she's totally like covered a lot of the like ridiculous like health stuff lately. Like what are some like, do you have some topics that you'd love to write about like in particular, or any like do you have a celebrity that you would just love to sort of debunk like their weird claims or?
I don't know. I think it's well, I guess one that drives me especially nuts is Mayim Bialik, however you say your name.
Yes, Blossom.
Not that I'm not Jewish and should probably know how to pronounce it, but pronounce her name. But yeah, it's especially irritating because she has a science degree. So a lot of people think, people think, because she's on Big Bang Theory, that she's that person. And she's
a show about science. So that means we all have to know something about science, right?
Yeah, but she has a lot of really, she has a lot of, views on, she's sort of walked back the anti-vaccine a little bit, but she's still, she's not fully, she's still kind of anti-vaccine. I don't know exactly. She sort of had this weird statement that she tried to, kind of undo the damage, because I think a lot of people really had a problem with that statement, as they should. But her book where she had all that stuff, but she still has all kinds of views that aren't supported by evidence. And, she has this whole book on parenting that is just basically her preferences and a lot of kind of really old-fashioned religious stuff that is just, that's her choice, but it's not science-based. There's no reason for anyone to necessarily follow it. So, and she just gets such a big platform sometimes that sort of drives me crazy. So I wasn't thinking of writing about her, but maybe I should. One Jew to another.
Ooh, you can like find a little bit of common ground, but also but nope. So, okay. So, well, just because, we talk about, religion a lot on this show and stuff. And,
do you?
We do. We do.
Once in a while.
Every once in a while we get, well, we do have that Ken Ham intro now that says we're just a couple of atheists, the Science Podcast run by a couple of atheists. Yeah. So I'm just curious about your thoughts as a parent. Do you consider yourself I don't know the terms. So is it a secular Jew?
I mean, I usually say, I don't know. Actually, it's complicated. I say atheist Jew sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe in God, so I'm not a believer. But I'm raising my kids Jewish. I mean, I think with and my sister has the same point of view, so I know there's at least more than one person that agrees with me, but or one person that if you're kind of a Jew like me, you raise your kids Jewish, but just assume they're going to figure out it's, not really true. And they just go about their way. And that's usually how it works out. That's how it worked out for me. So yeah, that's how it goes being an atheist Jew, except there's a lot of, atheists who are Jewish, who just rejected the, Judaism entirely and don't agree with me. But for me, I grew up in a small town and I was one of not many Jews. And so it was kind of it still is a big part of my identity. I love the cultural aspects of being Jewish. I love a lot of the observances and the holidays. And it's just still kind of a big part of my community is connecting with other Jews. It's just been a part of my life. And it was a big part of my identity growing up. I mean, weirdly, I think what a lot of, if you were an atheist kid and you had issues with Christianity in schools, I had kind of those same issues, except I was Jewish. I was this weird kid being I think that actually violates the First Amendment. I would be 10 or something.
I know where I'm going in life.
Yeah, I was so annoying. This poor, just school employees. I just wanted to put up a Christmas tree. God,
But here's Jenny just
crushing dreams. Yeah.
But yeah, but that, so it's a part of your background, cultural, identity, that kind of stuff. Yes. And and then your kids get that experience too. And then we'll
I also
have the freedom to figure
some stuff out on their own. My daughter has been asking me a lot lately. So, because I always will jokingly say I know everything. And then, I'm mom, I know everything. And she'll say, well, do you know if God is real? And I never answer. I'm just well, what do you think? She's oh, why can't you just tell me?
My kids will, I guess, eventually have Santa Claus as the thing that's that maybe will be oh, I should be more skeptical because I do Santa.
That's probably, I think, part of why, maybe it's why a lot of Jewish kids ask questions, because they're wait a minute, something's up here. All my friends get a visit from somebody and I don't. What's going on? It's what?
So questioning. So natural skepticism from an early age.
Yeah, I don't know. Both of my kids have asked lots of questions and I kind of just let them keep going and, and answer as they get older, but a lot of times they just figure it out. It's not, really that complicated. But also I live in DC and there's plenty of atheists around. So it's not they're getting some hardcore Christianity at school or something. So that does make it kind of easy. My kids, my gosh, have it so much easier than when I grew up, where all my friends went away to religious, super fundamentalist Christian camp one summer and came back and just informed me I was going to hell. So Not all of my friends, but it's a significant portion. It was not fun. So
enough to remember.
Yes. Just when you're, becoming a teenager and still trying to figure out identity, and all of a sudden everyone's like, actually, part of your identity is that you're going to hell.
Yeah, and I just never had any of that experience, like in school or anything like that. And I didn't grow up in like a large town, but it wasn't. I guess it also wasn't a small town. But I just never had that experience. I didn't think like people actually had that struggle where they felt like they couldn't just be honest. I never felt that. So that's that whole, every time I hear that from somebody, or they or talk about their experience, either here on the show or somewhere else, it's just always, it just blows my mind that people have to live in, or kind of forced into living like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, in that town there were, and it's in California, in Santa Cruz, where a more conservative town within Santa Cruz. But you would think, I mean, I don't know, you would be surprised that there's also plenty of like fundamentalist Christians, and just a lot of, I think we're already feeling pressure to fit in. It's just, kind of, it's not a fun way to experience your teenage years.
Well, and I think that's where like now, like today, I mean, I know like Dan gets lots of messages like to his page of people saying like, thanks for doing what you do or whatever. Just like I think anyone who kind of has a voice on the internet to say, like, if you're in a place where like, people don't all align with your beliefs or lack of or whatever, it's like, it gives a place for like common ground and people to find like-minded voices, even if it's not just the stuff like religion, but like even the parenting stuff that we do, and that, Dan touches on too, that it's like, giving people a place to find people that are kind of like them, even at a distance, because it can be tough sometimes to like, for whatever the belief or way of life is.
Right. No, I think that's huge. I mean, I think both, when I was growing up and when I first became a mom, there were internet groups, but I was on like the mothering.commune, excuse me, online groups, which was, that was just bad. So, if I think had an alternative, I really for a long time just figured, oh, well, I guess they must know what they're talking about, because there wasn't anything else other than my doctor, who I obviously shouldn't trust. But if I had like another point of view, another more information, I think it would have been so much better. It would have taken me years to kind of figure out that a lot of what they were saying was bullshit.
So to like wrap up, like where can people find your stuff on the internet? Like if they, listen and want to make sure that they follow you and, your evidence-based approach to parenting and your awesome snarky tone that you bring to like everything, like pop culture-y too. And where can they find you?
Well, I'm freelance writing now, so I'm in different places, but I'm active on Twitter. I love Twitter, and I'm on Facebook now. I think the actual address is Science Snark, or just Jenny Splitter Writer. I'm just Jenny Splitter on Twitter.
And we'll link to all of this in our show notes and everything, and people will follow you. And so we're really glad you got to come on and do the show with us tonight.
Thank you. That was so fun.
All right. Thanks. That was good.
Was that good? Or was I totally boring?
You're not boring.
Oh, we're still going.
Damn it.
We're still going.
He's gonna make us
make it stop. I can't make it stop.
He's gonna run this thing for like the full 8 hours that YouTube allows.
For the full 8 hours.
We'll leave and we'll just let him like talk about himself for the next 7 hours. Yeah.
I could
keep greasing that hair.
That a lot. I can say we did that. I did that a lot. Between Friday night on Psygasm and Saturday on the show I was.
Oh yeah, Psygasm was fun. Oh yeah, I forgot that we did that on Friday.
I did too.
Wow.
Feels like it was like 2 weeks ago.
It was fun.
I don't know how you guys do it. I can barely do. I don't know.
We talk a lot. We get used to talking a lot.
That's awesome. I've listened to a bunch of your episodes, so you guys are been really good. Like, I love that last one with the 4-pound flour.
Oh yeah, wasn't she so good?
Yeah, that was like my jam. That was all the things that I love. I was like, I love.
Well, no, I told you, like, I emailed her as I was reading the book, and I'm just like, just so you know, this is so up my alley. Like, as like from a foodie point of view, like, get it. It's you'll really like it. I mean, it's a great book. Like, yeah, I was super stoked on just reading it and then being like, oh, like, get to like just talk about somebody who wrote a book about food. Like, this is why I like doing a podcast, because it's like awesome just to talk to those people like who do all this cool stuff.
Yeah, that's a cool, good like crossover, because there are definitely those people in like the foodie world who know their shit. But
yeah, because she really like she knew her stuff, and she was able to like, you know, comment on GMOs in a like super intelligent, like awesome way. And yeah, like it was just nice to talk to somebody who understood like food from a like culinary perspective, and like also understood that like the GMO fear is bullshitty. So yeah, it was really cool talking to her.
Yeah, now I want to do that vanilla taste test thing that she talked about.
Yeah, that like, see, I loved that kind of stuff, because it was just like,
yeah,
here's just a simple experiment, and you know, people have their preconceived notions about this stuff and what's better and all of that. And yeah, so it was just super cool talking to her. Yeah.
Awesome.
We had somebody, like, I don't know what's happened the past couple of weeks on the YouTube live chat, but like people have been like actually engaging, which is weird.
Oh, really?
And like another thing to pay attention to. But we had somebody.
I haven't looked you guys on YouTube, so I have to do that.
I haven't either. I would recommend against it, to be honest. Somebody like once you started talking about religion, this guy started talking about how all you do is bash, or how all I guess I do is bash religion on the page. It's amusing.
But then you had me on. Doesn't that get you some like Jew cred or something?
Well, no. See, I wasn't even really bashing it myself.
Can we get Jew cred? Yeah, like, come on.
Oh, Jew cred.
Yeah. What did you think?
Cred.
I like. Is this like a credit card from like a Jew?
We're gonna get a scorecard. Like, we, you know. Yeah. Well, no, but we had like Rob Sharkey on, who's a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. Have we had anybody else?
Well, no, like we talked about this. Like, I want to go that route of getting more people on the show who don't necessarily fully agree with things, and maybe not just don't argue with them necessarily, or like try to debate them, but just kind of explore like what they think and why they think it. Like I'm not once have I joked about Ken Ham being on the show ever.
I want Ken Ham on the show.
I want him on the show.
I know.
So
I know. I want him to do this show, but
I know we could.
We're
probably
just a couple of atheists, and he's praying for us. Do you think we can get Ray Comfort?
I'm sure we could get Ray Comfort, especially if he has like a book or like something coming out that he's trying to promote that none of our listenership would give even a minute to.
I don't know who that is.
He's also from
how do we describe him? Is he New Zealand? Is he Australia?
It's all the same. Like Australia, New Zealand, it's all the same.
He's from somewhere over there, but
somewhere where it's an opposite world. Like everything's backwards there, and it's now winter there, and like the toilets go backwards, and like it's a whole thing. So,
but yeah,
he's religious, and there's.
Yeah. He's look up. Do yourself a great favor, and like this is like a rabbit hole that's going to end like at like 3 a.m. for you. Look up Ray Comfort banana, and Ray
Comfort banana.
That is the rest of your night.
Take off.
If you've never seen it, it's the atheist nightmare.
Oh, it's an atheist ploy.
His words.
Quoting
the man himself.
Yeah, he's like just up there with a Ken Ham type of dude, but he just doesn't have his own arc theme park or like, you know.
He did. I think he was on from the Atheist Podcast a while ago.
Yeah.
Whenever he was coming out with the Atheist Delusion movie, because where he
I watched part of the Atheist Delusion.
I did not, because I knew how it was going to go. It's literally, it's just him going around interviewing people who pretend like they're atheists or claim to be atheist, and then at the end of it, they say like some stupid things during it, and then by the end of it, they're like, "Oh, I'm Christian now. You convinced me."
Wait,
and it's like, "Oh,
hold
see,
on,
it's so
wait,
logical."
really? I didn't get to the end. Oh, so he like really?
Yeah, like he thinks.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
now I need to watch
like,
the whole thing again. Oh, I need to actually watch it.
At least that's what my understanding of it was. I didn't want to. I don't.
Well, okay.
I like watching bad things that are like, it's like they're so bad they're good, and that's just, it's maybe in 10 years from now I can sit down and watch it if it still exists on YouTube for free.
Yeah, because it's for free. But I guess true, like if he's putting out this movie, he's going to put out a movie that makes his side look convincing.
Well,
so,
right,
yeah,
because
of course
what is intellectual honesty?
Well,
who knows?
But he, God's real, Dan. It's like provable or something. So yeah. Stop insulting people. We're gonna lose listeners.
I'm insulting an idea, and if that's enough to get you like butthurt, then all I can say is K.
You might be able to get Bill Maher on now.
Oh God. Oh.
You might have some free time.
He might have some free time. He might.
I don't know. Like, I shouldn't opine, honestly. Every time I've opined in the last 3 days, I get yelled at and told why I'm a racist. So
that's your life on the internet.
I just think all lives matter. I mean, let's be honest here.
Don't say that. Don't hashtag that.
So what are you saying? Are you joking about that? Are you joking about that? No, like I'm not saying anything. Like it doesn't mean anything.
God. All right, let's call this to a close.
On that note,
we still have 4 people watching. We still have 4 people watching on YouTube.
Well, to those 4 people, thank you for watching us on YouTube. Go enjoy the rest of your night. You have better things to do than watching us. I'm
gonna go play Kerbal Space Program.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go to bed pretty soon. Kind of tired. I know.
Oh.
It's okay. I might watch one more episode of House of Cards, but
I can't get back into it.
I have a wild night.
I
can't get back into it.
One more Handmaid's Tale, but I have to be gripping something when I watch that.
Yeah, that show is something.
Yeah, it's difficult.
That's the world we're headed towards. So, whatever. No big deal. Trump's America.
Yeah. Thankfully, I like really good hats. So.
All right. So thanks for watching, guys. Or I'm sorry.
Bye.